They think they can just get away with it. They get away with it because nobody stands up. We're standing up now. Enough is enough.
You're trying to get crap. I never said nigger live. Why are you accusing me of
Everybody ignore her. Everybody ignore her. Everyone ignore her. She wants to create controversy. She's a loser. Her channel is failing and she's trying to do something. She's desperate. So blame nobody.
Nigger bitch! Fuck you!
Ignore
Like if you're here to support, you gotta support.
I'm here to support everybody.
Then don't say it.
Ignore.
Don't say it. You just said it.
I didn't say that.
Ignore.
What I said?
Just don't
Hey,
say it.
don't say a word to her anymore.
Keep the focus on she's not the reason we're here, you guys. Come on. Let's focus on these. Keep the focus where it should be, right here.
Just don't talk to her, bro.
One thing that Scientology does a lot is, and I'm not saying this person has any connection to Scientology, but they will send some people out that appear to be a little bit unhinged, and they will have those people create distractions. Here we have the Sea Org having a very important meeting about how they are under such danger. Of course they are. It's so dangerous to be in the Sea Org with all these protests around here. Meanwhile, we're not the people who lock people in closets for 2 months until they expire. And anyway, William has a really great message that he's trying to deliver about misuse of police resources by Scientology, because Scientology has been calling the cops every day with some crap. They've claimed a bomb threat. Now they're claiming a threat of arson. And last I heard, I thought it was supposed to be illegal to make a false police report.
Stop wasting our resources.
And the thing is, this is what they do. They come in here every time, and they...
Stop wasting your resources. Does anybody know what time this interaction started at?
They have about, like, 5 or more cops in there. And every time they come, it always ends up being nothing. And then they still stay there for at least a half an hour every time. And that means that there's a lot of crime not being prevented, not being dealt with by the police. I mean, you could take these same cops and just have them walk down the street like the bobbies in England, and crime would go down in Hollywood probably by 50% overnight. But instead of that, they come here and they stand around Scientology every damn night. And what the hell could there be to talk about for a half an hour? I mean, really, what could there be to discuss? Either there's evidence or there's no evidence. So break out the evidence, let them look at the evidence, because in the end, they always just say there's no evidence, it's all good. And they leave, and they do no investigating. They don't even ask questions of people in the crowd. Oh, look at your watch. Yeah. Is this dude counting time or money? Or is it the same thing? So anyway, see, one of the biggest strategies of Scientologists is portray yourself as the victim. Okay, fake like you're a religion, number one. And when you fake that you're a religion, then it just follows that anybody against your religion is a religious bigot. And so you invoke things like the Holocaust or whatever to discredit anybody who goes against your religion. And then you make alliances with certain other, I shouldn't even say other religions, certain religions. And they probably let you join their alliance because you're willing to pay up. Who knows? Or they just, they take some kind of political, ideological stance of like, hey, we don't question whether it's a religion or not. If they say they're a religion, then we're going to treat them like a religion. And I think that's what a lot of people do. It's just like, and on a certain level, I agree with that. On a certain level, as an American, I agree that anybody should be able to make a religion. I mean, why not? It's like if Moses could do it, Jesus could do it, Muhammad could do it, Buddha, whoever, then, anybody should be able to make a religion. But the thing is, when you start cloaking yourself in the sanctity of your religion, then what happens is you just use all the benefits of religion, like not paying property tax. Hence, you can afford to have these empty buildings. Look how empty. You can afford that because you don't pay property tax. So all you got to do is just keep the lights on, you're cool. So let's see, what does somebody think? With Jessica, what happened? I don't know. She changed her hair a little bit. It's her birthday. Wish her happy birthday. Yeah, this is, the thing is, from what I understand, I don't know all about the Hollywood. I'm talking to David Lee here. I don't know all about the corruption here. I don't know how things work. But, there's that kind of soft corruption where organizations like Scientology will hire off-duty cops to do security. I don't know if that's allowed in LA, but I know that's something that a lot of police departments do around America. And what happens is then they pay them a shitload of money to do security. And then those cops end up making a decent percentage of their living on these security gigs. Everybody's running because it's a cat and mouse, because the cops parked way down there on the next block. And so everybody wants to get them on film because, you do need evidence. And so we got to ask, is that why the cops parked a block away? Could it be? Is it a coincidence? Am I being a conspiracy you-know-what-ist? Don't know if that's a forbidden thing on the tube. But anyway, so it's not like, it doesn't even have to be the kind of thing where they're bribing police officers, right? Because what they do is it's legal in a lot of places. Like I'm saying, I don't know the details about Hollywood, but I just know this from many other places, and many other places that Scientology has dealt with, that basically they hire these cops so often, they pay them so much more hourly than they make being police, that it becomes a huge part of their income, this security work. And they get to wear uniforms. They get to wear their uniforms. There's nothing that distinguishes them as not being on-duty police officers. Now, they might have some technical thing like, oh, you got to wear a white belt instead of a black belt when you're doing security. It's probably not that. But anyway, so they make all this money. And so, what does that buy you? It buys you, just like people who donate to politicians. They don't necessarily donate to politicians and then say, hey man, I gave you all that money, so let me pollute the environment now. No, what they do is they give you the money, and that gets you on the phone with them. Okay, try to call your U.S. Senator and ask to speak to him personally and see what happens. I bet you're not going to be able to talk to the senator directly. Just spitballing here, but I bet you that senator's never going to take your call, right? But if you're one of his biggest donors, he's going to take your call. And then everybody can say, well, no laws have been broken here. And that's the same thing with Scientology and the police departments of many places. Now, I've heard that about Clearwater, and I can imagine it's that way here. So every time Scientology calls the cops and says, oh, we think that there's we're scared. These people are being mean, they're being threatening. Well, cops come running over in 2 or 3 different police cars, with sergeants, captains, lieutenants. I don't know what these things are. But anyway, and when they get there, they hang out for at least a half an hour every time. They waste time, they waste people's money, and it's really ridiculous. And they never issue any citations for false reports. And the half-hour chat is about how much they'll donate to the police. Children's Christmas Fund, yeah, stuff like that. Yes, Newfic 1892. I do think it's the start of the end. It's not even the very beginning of the end. It's the end of the beginning of the end. The beginning, to me, and maybe that's just because it's when I started paying attention, was anonymous. If you go back and see all the anonymous videos, the anonymous protests, I guess that stuff started in the 90s or the early 2000s. That, to me, was the real beginning when they started seriously hemorrhaging members. Yeah, soft corruption, exactly. Exactly, Newfic. When they're on duty, they pull some strings, or they don't pull certain strings, right? But whatever they do, they're benefiting the people that pay them. I mean, if Scientology wants to pay me $10,000 a night to come out and say nice things, I could probably do that. Okay, Scientology, that's my price. 10 grand a night. And I'll come and say sweet, sweet things for you. and they will not be believable, and everybody will laugh. And I'll make it so ridiculous that it becomes quite counterproductive. Right, here's all the dangerous people Scientology's afraid of. Right? Don't they look menacing?
I heard the call came in for a nun with a packet of matches.
Nuns are dangerous, very dangerous. I almost don't want to touch these comments because last time I did it, they all got deleted for a while until I undeleted, hopefully most, if not all of them. But when I go to scroll through to look at other comments, it's not showing me anything. And that's fine.
Tell me what they're about. If I go here, they're gonna lie to you. They make it seem like that's a cross.
Let's listen in to the master.
David, they don't celebrate Christmas. It's like a bootleg donuts. They use these other religions as a tool to. Yeah. Like Tom Cruise. He's really good. We call him Dracula. I call him the White Prince. You know, Prince of Singer. No, he's very.
He's like hella slick about it. He's like, no, just finish it. You're almost there. I'm like, he's like, you're real good about it. I'm like, I am. Questions. I'm yours good.
TikTok. At the end, it's all about money. They're trying to get money. If you get your real name, you're gonna get a lot of emails.
I give a fake last name.
Yeah. What I say is, somebody said he didn't go over his neighbors all this stuff. His neighbors got going crazy.
See, this educational thing, it's for somebody who's been nerding out on all this Scientology material for at least minimum of 15 years, probably a lot more in my case. You know, you kind of don't realize that people have no idea. They're like, okay, so what's the problem? Why do you have an issue with Scientology? What's the deal? And you kind of think, oh my God, there are people out there that don't know. They have no idea. You know, so people come up and they ask that question around here, and we give them the answer. And well, I can't say we give them the answer. We start giving them the answer because the answer takes forever to actually deliver. 13 times, girl. Yeah. Thanks for keeping count. I knew it was somewhere. I remember it was 11 or 12 pretty recently. Yeah. Nufk. I called you Nufik. Sorry. There's no I at the end there, so I guess it's Nufk. Anyway, yeah, I'm not. You know, we can't worry about things like those types of plots because, number one, Scientology doesn't really have a lot of a tradition of unaliving anybody. They have more of a tradition of allowing people to get themselves into that state through neglect, but they don't really have a big history of a lot of extreme violence. You know, their methods are more like try to get you either discredited, arrested, ruin your business, things like that. It's not that it couldn't happen because, you know, I think they would do anything to perpetuate the cult. And so I wouldn't put anything past them, but I'm not going to get fearful about anything because, you know, everybody that shows their face in terms of protesting against Scientology in any way knows, hopefully they know, that there's this thing called fair game, where Scientology has the right and reserves the right to do anything at all to destroy you utterly. And I don't remember the full details of what the fair game system is about, but we all know there's some threats. We all know it's a risk. Here we go.
Don't trust these people. They're no good. They're trying to get money. It's all about money. They're not doing anything for any good. If you walk into a church and you ask them for help, ask them for some guidance, are they going to say, it's going to cost you $40, it's going to cost you $80, it's going to cost you $200? Would you do that? No other religion does that, except these guys, these scammers. Right here, they're getting paid no money. They're being pimped out, paying no money to try to scheme money out of you. You're in a sales pit right now. You want nothing to do with these people. Look at her. Look at her. Her whole life, she signed a billion-year contract. She signed a billion-year contract. She gets $47 a week. 47. Now you want a life advice from somebody who does something like that? Can you imagine that? And for what? For L. Ron Hubbard? They believe that aliens from outer space, there was overcrowding, and they brought them to Earth and dropped them in volcanoes.
That story never gets
and
old.
Their spirits rose up, and they're attached to us called Thetans. And they're going to help you get rid of those Thetans for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's the most ridiculous story ever. Don't fall for it. And they gave their life to it. Korean, you gave your life to it. You gave your life to this. What a joke you are. You are such a fool. You're the fool.
Kareem, you're stuck in a car. Yeah, you can hear me. Look at Dennis right there. Dennis left you, Kareem. Look at knockoff Anne Hathaway. They don't even put her in the front because they don't trust her at all. They don't let her walk around by herself recruiting because they don't trust her. They have her in the back doing, what's that called, sales and reports. Look at Dennis right there.
David Miscabbage. Hey, I still think I got the best Miscavige alternate. Mismanige. I mean, come on. The dude has completely mismanaged.
The van's leaving. You want to tell them or not?
The what? Oh, the van's leaving. Okay. We must relay to our compatriots that the van is leaving. Hey, the van's leaving. The van is leaving. That appears to have more significance than I knew. Well, you know, it is Hollywood, and we are kind of like paparazzis. So when these famous people come through, you know, you gotta like, it's kind of like the Academy Awards, you know. You catch them when they're entering and when they're leaving.
Davey Mismanige.
How you doing, man?
Good. Just another day.
That feels pretty funny coming over here to see the van leave, you know. It's like,
But I mean, there's nobody in there.
nobody in the van? Yeah, right. Maybe it's another Scientology psyop where they fake everybody out, where they think they're gonna see the van leaving and then the van is empty. Oh no. Duped again. It could be that. Who gives a shit? Because my thing is like, yeah, I'll just keep running my mouth no matter what happens or if nothing is happening. The dog is contained by an invisible fence. Beware of dog. Now, the secret about this dog with the invisible fence is that it's also an invisible dog. That's something that most people don't know about. It's not only that the dog is contained by an invisible fence, but the dog itself is invisible. Because the dog, rumor has it that the invisible dog is actually the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard's favorite childhood dog, Skippy Boo, who reincarnated in order to protect his legacy. Now, I don't know if that's true, but there is a sign ahead that says 1666, so I will take that as an omen of the veracity of my theory. So anyway, here it is. Right when you leave, then the van leaves. Yeah, it does look pretty empty. But, you know, everybody's trying to get a sighting of their favorite heartthrob Scientologist. So, anyway, what happened to those damn cops? No sign of them leaving. Jessica's birthday.
I told you,
Big event out here.
Alright guys, we're gonna sing happy birthday for Jessica, guys.
It's Jessica right here.
Yeah, go in the middle, Jessica.
Nobody got a hat for her, a birthday hat?
Birthday glasses. I don't care. Where's your birthday glasses?
You guys can sing along at home.
Alright guys, it's Jessica's birthday today.
It's Jessica's
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jessica. Happy birthday to you.
Jessica doesn't want them.
Come on, what?
No,
It's your birthday.
That's crazy. Sebastian. You look Sebastian. That's name Sebastian.
This poor girl had to hold myself all day.
Well, come on the stage. No, but I always see that. I'm going there now. I am. Watch. Yeah, I thought Joy posted it.
So, the question is, did the cops take some evasive action to not be seen leaving this place? I mean, maybe they went out the back and I don't know. I think everybody would have been yelling, the cops are going, they're leaving that way, you know. Anyway, you tell me, does that crowd appear to be dangerous? I mean, maybe if you're a cult that can't handle any opposition, yeah, they're the most dangerous people in the world. Otherwise, not so much. Anyway, signing out on Saturday night, live from Scientology's testing center on Hollywood Boulevard, across from the Taco Bell Cantina.
I watch your YouTube channel.
What's that?
I watch your YouTube channel.
Oh, thanks.
I recognize your voice,
Awesome.
though. You don't show your voice.
Good night.
You know, but like, I see you recognize your voice.
What's that?
I recognize your voice.
Right, yeah. Davey Mismanige, I hope you subscribe to me, man. Yeah, it's